I really want you to learn how to make tortellini.
So beautiful. I'm so excited for this breakfast. I'm hearing all about
so
it.
Crisp. I'm excited. First day in Italy.
So it's our first morning at Casa Maria here in Modena, and we're about to go have some breakfast. And it's a little rainy, a little overcast today, but it's honestly really beautiful, and the air feels really fresh, and the birds are singing. And we're so excited for the week ahead. Yeah.
It's
How do you
beautiful.
feel?
It's a dream being here. I'm just taking it in.
Yeah.
I think like the first day I'm like allowing myself to just experience, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm really excited about that.
Yeah, and then we're gonna head into the town and meet up with Alexa for lunch at Tortellante and see where the day takes us. But let's go.
Let's get it.
Sauna. So Massimo's one of his favorites for sure, and then the onion frittata is one of my favorites as well. There's spinach Swiss char, and then we have robiola cheese inside, a very soft cheese. And then the dough is mainly made out of farro and some butter. And it's a very nice, light, savory pie, the way we describe it, yeah.
It's so light and fluffy. It's so good.
matcha with ricotta, pecan walnuts, and red Casa Maria Luigia honey. So Tortellante was born in 2016 by a group of parents of people in the autistic spectrum, including Lara and Massimo Bottura. Tortellino is a tradition for Modena. It's like a religion. We all believe in tortellinis, and it's also like a really repetitive movement, and it's helpful for people in the autistic spectrum because they work really well in routines and doing the same things over and over. But for them it's calming because they know what's gonna happen next, and also it's helpful because it trains the fine motor skills that you also need, for example, to tie your shoes or do this kind of movements. In Tortellante you will see tortellini, and it's so important for us, but what's really important it's what's behind it. For example, I'm a psychologist, we have a scientific team, and we work for these people to improve their skills and to be as autonomous as possible. We published a research with the University of Modena that showed that the well-being of the people involved in the project and also of the families improved during the first 3 years of the project. So that's amazing because it shows that we're doing something that's helpful and that's good and that we're going in the right direction. Now we are doing a lot of projects to include more people and to also give them the opportunity to try new jobs. For example, we opened a shop, the Bottega, where they are doing a training to serve people and to become waiters, all these kind of things, and they love it. And it's so important also because when they see that the tortellini that they have made are appreciated and people like it, it's really helpful for them and they feel they're doing something important. A fundamental thing about Tortellante is volunteering. We have a lot of elderly people coming in. It all started with their grandmothers. They wanted to share a moment with them because they were not able most of the time to communicate or to have passions in common. So it was a way to share and to spend time together. And then the voice spread, and now we have over 120 volunteers. We really care about quality. Of course, Massimo is involved, and our tortellini are sold in his restaurants, mainly Cavallino and Francescana. Also, we produce some for Francescana, but these are tiny ones, and only some special nonnas can make them, because the Francescana ones are magical. I really want you to learn how to make tortellini.
I would love to learn.
If you're in Modena, you need to learn. Are you ready?
Now it was our turn. We washed our hands, put on our aprons, and got to work. Each tortellino is filled with a mixture of pork, prosciutto, mortadella, Parmigiano Reggiano, salt, and a hint of nutmeg.
Each tortellino is different. You take a little bowl of pesto and you put it in the middle of the square. You make a triangle and you press it, creating like this little bump here, you see. Then with these two fingers I pinch it like that, and then
wrap around and then pinch with the thumb.
You go like around?
it's difficult with the nails.
I know, I can make it work.
Okay.
The first time is not that easy.
Oh yeah.
It's okay.
That looks like it.
Vediamo.
They DJ, nice to meet you, or like good to meet you.
Piacere.
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 Piacere. We're learning.
You see?
Everyone made it look pretty easy, but after a few tries, we got the hang of it as well. The trick to making tortellini is to work quickly to make sure the dough doesn't dry out.
That's really good. Here, for example, we have some ultima buoni, the ugly but tasty. You see, they're kind of broken, but they're.
Ours will probably go into that pile.
No, absolutely.
I like that. Ugly but tasty.
The ugly tortellini that are not perfect, that have, for example, holes in the dough or there are weird shapes, they don't go to waste, but they become the brutti ma buoni, ugly but tasty. And it's a dish that we sell in our shop because they're still really good, but they're just different. And every tortellino is actually different because everyone has its own technique, and I think that's pretty representative of our project, of what we do here and what we believe in. We want people to come here and try our tortellini and come back and buy it because they're good, not because they pity us or oh, poor thing. No, we don't fit in this narrative because what we would like to share and people to see is that it's possible to do things.
Oh, this one came out good.
Oh, nice. That one does look good.
Did that. A few tortellini later, we put our best tortellino forward for the daily competition. Oh wow. Thank you.
Seeing all that tortellini was making us hungry, so we headed next door to their bottega to meet up with Alexa for lunch.
What do you guys feel like eating? We have, obviously they're known for their tortellini. They have broth, Parmesan cream, which is very, very good. Or they have tortellini called Big Love, which is in Parmesan cream and ragu.
I remember when we were watching the kitchen quarantine.
Kitchen quarantine, yeah.
You said you like the brodo.
I love
And Massimo
broth.
likes the creme.
Yes. Allora, abbiamo deciso.
Quindi 2 brodo, ok? Perfetto, crema di parmigiano, 2 brodo.
Grazie, Betta. Cheers!
Cheers.
I'm so glad you guys are here.
Oh no. Bakery, osteria francescana.
Oh, this is good.
Dressina al pomodoro, focaccia di patate.
These are tomato grissini, and this is this focaccia that they make at the Osteria Francescana bakery. That's to die for. Buon appetito, guys! I was thinking of like fun activities for you guys. On Saturday, there's a soccer game happening, and it could be maybe if you guys would be interested, kind of fun to see it. And then another thing that I was thinking about, we just started doing pasta classes at Casa Maria Luigia on Saturday. There's one happening, and I thought that could kind of be fun if you guys are interested. They show you how to make like fresh pasta, like fresh egg pasta.
1,000 times, yes.
And then they do
Absolutely.
rosette and things like that. Okay, perfect.
The broth is crazy. Wow.
How many days a week do you eat tortellini?
Oh, I wish I ate more actually. There was a moment in time where we had like a lot of journalists coming. I think it was like March. I think I had tortellini from Tortellante at least 5 days in a whole week. I was like, oh my god, this is my dream.
Did you ever get sick of it?
Never. Impossible.
This is so good. No, it's like perfect weather for it.
Today, yeah. Today was exactly what I needed. Tortellini.
The weather outside was a little gloomy, but perfect for tortellini. We finished this incredible meal with a cup of coffee and some tasty dessert, and then headed outside to meet up with Laura.
The weather actually, we are the climate, we are the weather. We don't want it to become too Tuscan. We don't want climate change because otherwise, maybe Parmigiano won't age the same way, nor the prosciutto or the ingredients. So it's always, whenever I see a beautiful sunny day, yes, I love it. Go out on my bike, go for a run. But I'm always a little bit afraid. Great to have you here, all of you. Thank you for having us and taking this journey. Amazing.
That was such a good lunch.
Yeah, that was
Wow.
fire.
I'm gonna dream about those tortellinis.
Tortellini and brodo.
We just finished lunch at
That's fire.
Tortellante, and now it's around siesta time.
Yeah.
And we're gonna go to the piazza and chill
Yeah.
and just explore the city a little bit.
And honestly, I'm excited to see it kind of more chill.
Yeah, a
Before
little bit
we see
quieter.
it a little bit more lively. Yeah.
Okay, let's go.
Let's go.
After filling up on Tortellini, we walked down Via Emilia, an ancient Roman road that has connected the cities, landscapes, and people of Emilia-Romagna for thousands of years. The cobblestones led us to Piazza Grande. Surrounded by Romanesque art, this historic city center is recognized as a UNESCO World Heritage Site. It's made up of the beautiful Modena Cathedral, built in the 12th century, with its bell tower, the Ghirlandina Tower, a beloved symbol of the city. Behind the long portico with marble columns is the Palazzo Comunale, which serves as Modena's city hall. Since the Middle Ages, the piazza has been a place where local and religious power has been exercised. It is also the main space for community gatherings, public demonstrations, and protests. For centuries, it has also served as the only regulated open-air market for Modena, but by 1931, the food market moved indoors to the Mercato Albanelli around the corner, where we'll visit later this week.
Oh my god, Alexa just texted me. Question, ... Would you guys be interested in doing Francescana and Maria Luigia tonight? The 9-course tasting of the iconic dishes. Would we be interested? Oh my god, we would love to. Okay, guess we have dinner plans tonight. We're gonna go back to Casa Maria Luigia and at 7:30 have probably one of the best meals of our lives. So my brain can't comprehend this. And then tomorrow during lunch, we are going to Osteria Francescana. And we heard that they just changed over to their new seasonal menu, so that will be really fun to taste that. And then the following night, we will be dining at the other on-site restaurant at Maria Luigia, which is Al Gatto Verde, which centers around wood fire cooking. And I'm looking forward to tasting the wide array and the breadth of the Francescana family cuisine and see how, the Francescana at Maria Luigia differs from Osteria Francescana and have those experiences. We're so grateful. And Alexa, if you're watching this, thank you so much. Yeah, let's go have the best food experience of our lives.
Francescana in the back. This is where all the magic happens. This is our head chef Matteo.
Hello, ciao.
Vieni a pranzo domani. And then here is where you guys are gonna be tomorrow. Ciao. Oh, delivery grembiuli.
After walking around the property for a little bit, it was time to head to Francescana at Maria Luigia for our 9-course tasting menu of the most iconic dishes ever served at Osteria Francescana. One thing that sets Massimo apart is his ability to tell stories through food.
My name is Erica. Let's say I'm just here to share with you a few beautiful stories behind this masterpiece that we are about to try tonight. With Osteria Francescana in the city center, we were noticing people, they were ready to do such a huge journey. Going to Osteria Francescana, sometimes they were a little disappointed that, oh my god guys, we don't really have 5 different ages of Parmigiano. We can only say, we need to keep going, keep proposing, keep evolving, be contemporary. At the same time, we were agreeing, like all these dishes, they made a revolution, and it was a shame that not everyone could taste them. So we opened this little, Massimo calls this the theater of flavor, this little temple. It means a temple where these dishes, they can actually live forever. So your tasting menu tonight is called Time Capsule Menu. So we're going to travel along what was the past of Osteria. There is a lot of present, there is a little bit of future as well.
This is Cantina della Volta, 2017 vintage of a Chardonnay, 100% in metal skis. Prego, welcome, enjoy the starter.
For the first dish, we traveled back 26 years ago to the year 2000 when they first introduced Mont Saint-Michel. Served in an oyster shell, at the bottom is a lamb tartare covered with a fresh oyster emulsion and topped with a green granita made out of apple cider. Since these ingredients are from the coast, they're naturally a little salty, but this was a perfect way to wake up our taste buds. The second dish was called Mare Nostrum, which means our seas in Latin. This dish first debuted in 2013. It takes you on a journey from the northern part of Italy down the coastline. In the middle of the plate is a fillet of salted cod, something very popular in northern Italy. It's placed on top of a sun-dried tomato tartare and surrounded by a soup made from tomato water mixed with green olives and a caper extraction. Dish was rice camouflage from 2012. The 3 different landscapes of Emilia-Romagna are reflected in 3 different risottos on the plate at the same time. The brown represents the Apennine Mountains, made with porcini mushroom. The green represents the valley, made with chlorophyll and campanina apples, which are tiny apples that are local to this specific region. And black, which represents the coast, made with squid ink, calamari, and fish broth. The next course was what I was most looking forward to. 5 ages of Parmigiano Reggiano in different textures and temperatures from 1993. When he first created this dish, he received a lot of backlash and criticism for breaking Italian tradition. But after years of experimenting and perfecting this dish, it was named Dish of the Decade. Massimo happened to pop in right when this dish was being prepared and gave us some insight into the history of how this dish came to be.
They were very upset when I did that, because they were selling Parmigiano Reggiano at the 1.5 years. But from the brother of my grandmother, I have learned, he owned a cheese company, like 3 people, up on the hill south of Modena. And he was like telling, that teaching everyone that the more you age the Parmigiano, the more digestible it is. But at 24 months, 2 years, the circle of transformation of lactose into protein is closed. So even the allergic to dairy product, they can eat Parmigiano Reggiano. So why selling at 18 months? This makes no sense. So I started aging my own wheels of Parmigiano. That's how everything started. So once you get those wheels there, you wait 6 months, 1 year, 1.5 years. So when you arrive, even stretching the big wheels of Parmigiano, even till 7 years old. But at one point, it was like, broken. So in this time, we were thinking and evolving the life of Parmigiano. Now it's easy, because everywhere you go in the market, they ask you, how old you want the Parmigiano? Yeah, but we did it, because we start aging our own way, and create this dish that at that time, they thought I was crazy.
So into this dish, into this plate, we're going to have 2 ingredients. You have Parmigiano Reggiano in all his pureness, and we do have thyme that in here really does the trick. So at the bottom, on the left-hand side, you're going to have a demi-soufflé, which is made out of 24 months Parmigiano. Next to it, you're going to have a foam, which is 30. All around, there's a warm cream, is 36. Right in the middle, the crunchy part is 40. On top, the air of Parmigiano, Massimo likes to call it the fog of Modena, is a 50 months old Parmigiano.
Continuing on with the classics, the next dish was the crunchy part of the lasagna from 2003.
So we are diving a little bit deeper into these memories of Sunday gathering together, being at grandma's with the whole family, gather around the same big tables that you have in here, literally having grandmas that put this big tray of lasagna right in the middle of the table. And you have kids that go with a bare hand and steal what, to be honest, is the best part of a lasagna tray, which is the cheesy, burnt, crunchy corner. So in this plate at the bottom, you're going to have a very classic Modenese ragu. So here in Modena, we use beef and we use all the cut head to tail. It's going to be topped with a bechamel foam. And then you got the crunchy part, which is going to stare right back at you. 5 days ago, they were spaghetti, somehow. We have been overcooking them. They spent 2 days in the dehydrator. We lightly smoked them, we fried them, we burned them, we torched them in the very end in here. So 5 days of preparation just to get to that specific texture of the cheesy, crunchy corner of the lasagna. Here you need to let your inner kid have a little fun. So you need to use your hands. Feel free to break the crunchy part and scoop everything together.